Hello, hello.
So how your day been so far?
Oh my goodness, so busy. The last day of Black History Month has been
Yes.
very black. Um,
That's good.
Lots of content,
Right.
like programming. It's been a busy day. How's your day?
Yeah. Pretty good. Like you say, it's been a fast month. I know it's only 9 days, right?
Yeah,
29
thank
days
you.
in February, but it's gone by quick. But I'm happy to talk to you today about something that's really, really important. I tell everybody, I think cybersecurity is the one thing that it's the most important thing now, but nobody's talking about it because it's not exciting like your cell phone or social media, but it's really important. I mean, every day you read the news, you hear about another company being a victim of a cyber attack. So, and especially now, as the world goes on, every day as the world becomes more digital and digital, you have
Mhm.
to protecting yourself online. So, that's what we're talking about tonight. And once again, I think it's just so important. So, what about you? Have you been a victim of any cyber attacks or attempts?
Crazy enough, it not cyber. Well, yes, actually, yes.
Cyber
I fell
hacking,
for it.
anything?
I fell for an email scam
Okay.
that had me paying a debt.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
like a whole payment plan. It
Wow.
was terrible.
Yeah,
Um,
you have to be careful out there.
yes. So from then on, I just was like, it has to be an official email. Like I'm not opening
Right.
certain things. Even I just
Mhm.
got a call about something. I was like, ma'am, you're lying. Please stop. Like, I don't even know how you
Right,
got my phone number or my name. Um, but yeah, I've been a victim, and I was in college, so it was a great lesson learned about
right,
what to open, how to check and
mhm,
verify. But
right,
it was definitely scary.
right, okay. Great, well, let's get started, we've got a lot to talk about tonight. I wanna go ahead and get started, with the workshop.
Let's go.
Alright, let's do this. Hold on one second, I have a little technical issue over here. Alright. All right, so tonight we are talking about cybersecurity in your small business, and like I said, it's one of those things that it's so important, but nobody is talking about it. Why? Because it's not as sexy, it's not fun and exciting like your cell phone. But like I was saying to A1 earlier, as this world becomes more digital, it's to the point now where if you don't have an email address, if you don't have a cell phone, you can't exist. So as digital technology increases, as we get more digital savvy, cyber attacks will go up. So it's very important that your business is ready to protect itself against cyber attacks, and not only your business, but also your customers' data information as well. So by the end of today's workshop, you'll have some more tips and more ways how you can protect your business online. That sound good? All
Yes.
right. So who am I? My name is Sterling McKinley. I am the DMV Grow with the Go Digital Coach. And what does that mean? Basically, I'm starting now. Grow with Google is a program started by Google, and it's all about helping people improve their skills, their careers, and their businesses by using digital skills, digital tools. One way to do that is by offering free trainings, both live and in person, to help people get a better idea of how to use digital skills. Also, if you have any questions, you can enter those in the chat box. I'll be sure to pull them up and answer those. You can also send me email. My email address is digitalcoachdmv at growwithg.co. All right, so let's start off with some common spam messages that you may get trying to target you. And A. Walton, you probably can, testify to getting some of these messages. So one will get one. This is the first one we get. It's very common that somebody says, "Wow, you won. I want to give you $1 million or even $1,000." And they try to get you to click on the link to send the information. Why? Because you might win or get money. It goes back to what I always say. If it sounds too good to be true, then it's not true. So you don't want to click on this email. You don't want to respond to it. And what cyber criminals, hackers are counting on is that you're desperate, Maybe money's tight that month. That you're curious, but don't give in to that. That's not how the world works. That's not how things work. Now, another one that you may get is somebody saying, "Wow, you won $10 million." Once again, all you have to do is reply with your social security number, your banking account. Don't do it. That is somebody that's trying to get into your system. And one of the ways that it works too, not only get into your system, but these people are trying to get you to click on the link, and that link or that PDF or image you download is going to install some kind of virus or software where they can get into your phone, into your computer, and get more information. So once again, don't click on any links or texts or images that you get in any of the messages.
That's a great point because I wouldn't have thought that tapping on an image
Yes.
would do such a thing.
Right. Yeah, yeah. You tap on the image, a link, PDF, you download it, and secretly it installs software in your device or your computer. So once again, you really have to be cautious because I would say scammers now they're getting more creative. Now with AI and all these tools, it used to be that they sent emails that had a lot of misspellings that made no sense. But now it's getting pretty hard to distinguish a spam email and a real email. So I'll give you some tips on ways you can lessen that, but it's coming really hard to make sure that you're not getting scammed. All right. So moving on to the next example. Uh, This is one that you get a lot. I get this all the time on my cell phone. So you get a text from a service you may have or not have saying, "Hey, reset your Netflix password." Um, I get one from UPS all the time saying that I have a package that's coming. Click on the link to view the package. And guess what? I don't have a package coming from UPS or FedEx or any one of these companies. But what this scammer is hoping on is that, like everybody, you're busy, you're moving fast, that you don't think you just see a text coming from a company, you click on it, and once again, that link could open up your phone to all kind of viruses and information. So once again, don't do that. And I always say, don't be in a rush. Every text, every email you get has to be scrutinized because once again, they're sending you these things. You may not have an account on Netflix. You may not even have a package UPS, but they're catching you during your day when you're busy. Your guard is down. You click on a link that's not valid. The last one is ransom. Give me Bitcoin, it give me money. They might say, we have pictures, a video of you, and if you don't send this amount of money, we'll leak these pictures or videos. Now, if you got pictures and videos out there, you may be a little nervous, but most times, 99% of the time, this is a scam. They're trying to get you once again in panic. They're hoping that you're in panic because when you're, in panic about something, you don't think. And when you don't think, you drop your guard. So once again, this 99.9% of the time is a spam message. Do not open it, not reply to it. You want to delete it or mark it as spam. All right. So in tonight's workshop, we're covering a few things. First, we're talking about why cybersecurity matters. Next, we're talking about how to protect your business online. We're going to talk about next about what to do if you get attacked. And we'll close it out with recaps and our resources as well. All right. So this is a big one. Why is cybersecurity? Why does it matter to every business? So I will say this: it doesn't matter if you are a one-person team, if you have 100 employees. It doesn't matter. Cybersecurity is important. And truthfully, cyber criminals they attack small companies more than they attack large companies. Why? Because the thought is a small company doesn't have the ability, doesn't have the resources to protect their data. So that's why it's so important. Can you imagine if a hacker or spammer gets into your account and they can email or message your clients? It could be catastrophic. So you don't want that. So protecting that data is so key. One thing I always say here, and is like we always talk about getting the bag, getting money, and getting new clients, whatever that may be, right? But nobody talks about protecting the bag, protecting the money. So you worked hard for your business, for your clients. The last thing that you want to do is let somebody come in and get on social media, get on your email, and cause havoc. So you have to make sure you protect your information because it's very important. And as a small business owner, you can't afford to lose clients, to lose money. So protecting your data is going to be key. All right, so up stat here, it says 65% of small business owners say that cybersecurity and customer privacy are concerned. Now, this number should be 100%, but this shows us that most people don't take cybersecurity seriously. And once again, hackers, they're counting on this, that you don't take it secure. So it should be 100%. It has to be at the top of your list of things to do. All right, moving on to how to protect yourself online. One thing I say is we're talking about your business tonight, but remember that your business and your personal life, they're together. So if you have a cell phone, guess what? You're checking your personal and your business email on the same phone. The same for your desktop, your computer. So it's just not keeping your personal information safe, but also your business information. So you don't want to have your device compromised. So we're talking once again about some of the ways you can protect yourself online, some things you should do, and some things you shouldn't do. So, all right, got a story. So, think about cybersecurity as a house in a sense. So, I'll give you a story real quick. So, growing up, I always forgot my key. It didn't matter. Probably about once every 2 3 months, I got locked out of my house, and I was not going to stay outside until 6 7 o'clock till my parents got home from work. I was going to try every way possible to get into the house. So I tried the bathroom door. I tried that small window in the bathroom. I tried the living room. I tried the basement. We didn't have one, but if we had a dog door, I would have somehow squeezed through that. But you have to think that cyber criminals, they're the same way. They're not going to stop. They're going to try to get into your cyber house. So, what are some ways they can get in? They can get in through out of date website, out of date software, or other technical vulnerabilities. So, once again, you have to protect your cyber house. Make sure that you're protecting all of those areas. Yes.
So, what's an out of date website?
Right. So there's various websites out there. There's WordPress, other systems software. So one thing you notice on websites on your cell phone that every few months you'll get a notice saying, "Hey, update your software." I would say do that as soon as possible because that software update is not only making your system run smoothly and better, but also it's patching any security flaws, vulnerabilities. So make
Oh.
sure it's up to date because what happens is, let's say take your bank. Your bank might get attacked this month and they find out how to stop that attack, then you roll out an update to you. So be sure to download that app. Be sure to download an update. So that goes for apps, that goes for your website, that goes for your computer. Don't ignore that update. Make sure that you install it as soon as possible.
Thank you, because I was okay. Now I
Right,
know.
right. It's very, very important. I mean, some sites update automatically, but sometimes you have to do it yourself. You have to go in and make sure that you're updating that information. Right. So, one of the common things you can do to protect yourself online is protecting your password and identity. This is the first step in defense. Having good passwords is key. Not using the same password for all your accounts. So, we're going to talk about some ways where you can make sure you have a unique, strong password that's easy for you to remember. So, like I said, the first thing is make your password difficult to guess. It shouldn't be your street address. It shouldn't be your best friend from high school or your first boyfriend. Don't do that. Make sure that it's hard to guess. That somebody can't look at your social media and figure out what your password is. Next, make sure that you do not share your password. I don't care if it's your mama, it's your daddy, your brother, your sister. Nobody has your passwords. Now, my wife has my passwords because God forbid something happens, she needs to get into the bank account, do other things. But beside that person that's close to you, do not share your password with anybody else. And the last thing is to remember to use different passwords for each account. So I know it's hard to remember passwords. one password memorized, and that password of social media is to our banking app, is to our Gmail and everything. But don't do that. Why? Because if somebody gets that one password, now they have access to all your different platforms and logins. So be sure to make sure you use unique passwords. So, how many passwords do you have, Walton? How many passwords do you have, if you had to guess? And do you, yeah, how many do you have?
I don't wanna get hacked talking about this.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you, I have a lot. So I have over 400 logins. And think about, like I said, we're living now in the digital age. So that's from the time I was in high school all the way
Yeah.
to now. So you sign up for a free service, you sign up for some sort of online. You don't keep it. It's a trial.
Mhm.
But every year, every day, we're getting new logins, new passwords. So like you may not think you have a lot, but there's probably a lot of accounts you started.
Yeah.
The free trial ended. I can't lie. I signed up to watch the football game a few weeks back. I signed it once and I closed my account the next day, but that's how it starts. You open up all these accounts, and it's really hard to remember passwords for each one of those accounts. Really impossible. So I'll give some tips on how you can do that and how you can remember those passwords. So one thing that I use is called a password manager. A password manager helps you create strong, unique passwords for all your accounts. So you're not running around trying to remember all these passwords and all these logins. So one that you can use is called Google Password Manager. It helps you create, save, and autofill passwords. So if you go to your beginning website, social media, it'll recognize what site you're on, and it'll log you automatically. So these are great. Once again, it will allow you to have different passwords for other accounts. It'll allow you to keep up with your accounts even better. So to sign up for that, simply visit passwords.google.com. And once again, if you already have a Gmail address, you already have Google Password Manager. Simply just go to the site, passwords.google.com. And you'll know now when you go to a website and you fill out your password information, it will ask you, do you want to save the password? You don't have to, but if you want to use Password Manager, just hit yes, and it automatically will save the password for that website. Next one is two-step verification. So this one is very key. So if you sign up, let's say for your Gmail, and you try to log in from a unknown device, it will send a code or a text message to your device. So to your cell phone, let's say, and it'll say, was this you, or enter this code into Gmail to get into your email. So what's it doing? It's saying, it lowers the chances. It's saying, you know what, you may have my uh, password, but not my cell phone as well. So that's another way to make it harder for somebody to get into your account. And you may sometimes get a password. It could be spam. Better be careful, but somebody trying to log into one of your accounts. That's another way you keep it safe. So it's pretty easy to set up. This is across Google and most platforms online. They have two-step verification, but you want to enable that because it's another way to keep your data and information safe. All right, moving on to protecting your equipment, apps, and your data. So this is very important once again because now your data lives in so many places. It's on your laptop, it's on your tablet, it's on your phone, your computer. It's a lot of places. So one thing you have to be sure of is protecting your equipment as well because that holds that data information. So tips on keeping your computer safe. So if you ever go to a coffee shop, you go sit down on your laptop, they call your name, you go get your latte, and you leave your laptop, you leave your cell phone at your seat. Don't do that. When you're in public, do not let your cell phone or your tablet or your laptop out of your sight. Make sure that you don't leave your device unattended because if you do, somebody can walk by, they can steal it just like that, or they can look at it and then get information from it. So make sure that you close that laptop, you take your cell phone, and go get your coffee. but don't leave that laptop or device unattended. The next way is use the lock screen. Very simple. So on your screen, have a password, have a lock pattern as well, something to make it harder. So on my phone, after 1 minute of non-use, the screen locks automatically. On my laptop, the same thing. So use that. So once again, if somebody does happen to get your device, after a while, the screen will time out and it'll lock them out. The next thing to do is only enable services or apps that people that need do their job. So I'll give you an example. So your website designer, they don't need access to your banking information or to your payroll software. So only give people access to things that they need. Another thing too, if you use any contractors, um, do you use any contractors for your business?
Yes,
Whether that's something like Fiverr or like a person.
person, people.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Well, one thing I'd say do is once again assign roles. So if you do have somebody doing work for you, they shouldn't be the admin on the account. They should be a user. And that way you can control what they see, what they do. Anytime you can lock their account or even delete it. I worked for a few clients, big companies. I won't say their names, but I started working for there, and not because I want to commit fraud, but I just want to see. And sometimes months after I leave, or even years, I can still log into my email address. I can still have access to their page on social media as well. So be sure if you're hiring a contractor and they're doing work for you, and work is done, that you delete their account, that you pause it because you know, not even them. You want them going to your account, but you don't want somebody like a hacker getting access to that account and doing things. So make sure that when people in working for you, that free or delete their accounts.
That's a great point. As a social media freelancer, I'm definitely
Mhm.
still logged into some people's accounts.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've logged into a client. I worked with him about 3 years. And I just got tired of it. So I logged in on Sunday and I deleted my access, but they had no idea, they didn't care. And I think a lot of companies just they don't have any procedures in place. You start working for them and of course they start paying you. I don't get checks from the client still, but they don't take the next step and they don't make sure that all the accounts are frozen or even paused. All right. The next one is don't trust any unknown USB drives. So pretty much, those drives. If you see one out in public, don't put it in your computer. Don't do that because there may be software on that drive that installs a virus on your computer and takes it over. So don't use any unknown USB drives you don't recognize, you don't know. And I'll say too, a lot of this stuff, it sounds common. It sounds like you should know it, but you'd be surprised people that don't do this stuff, or you may know this stuff and you may still fall prey. I've been a victim of cyber attacks twice. I consider myself to be very, aware of stuff, but once again, sometimes, I give example. So I was working a few years ago for a job as a contractor. I got a text from my boss. My boss is one of those bosses that just he was a micromanager, but he would just randomly send you a text or email, whatever, and you had to respond to it. So I was dropped off my son at school. I'm busy, in the morning rush, and I get a text from my boss at that time saying, "Oh, buy some gift cards on your way in, so I can give them to um, some partners that's out in town." Made sense. Partners were coming in town, getting gift cards. I said, "Okay, sounds I'll do great." I used the company card. I went and bought the gift cards, and I came to the office. My boss. I said, "Hey, here are the gift cards," and I put them down on his desk. And he looked at me just like, "What are you talking about?" And in that moment, I knew that I had been a victim of a cyber attack. Spent about $400 on gift cards as well. So it can happen to anybody. You have to be very cautious. But the person that said the right things, they even taught my boss that they, and it's funny. Sometimes cyber criminals have a way of talking. What's the word? Talking general, but the way they say it sound like it's really like, like they know you, like, oh, stop by CVS, get these cards. I'm like, oh, there's a CVS right here in the corner by the office, but there's a CVS everywhere. So they're keen on that. And once again, they send it in the morning time. I'm sure they've done their research. The mornings people are busy. I see it and send it to them the gift cards. Anyway, embarrassing, but it can happen to anybody because they're hoping on you're not paying attention to what they're doing as well. And they even send me email. The email actually wasn't from my boss. I look back and I looked at the email uh, address. It didn't match, but I saw his picture quickly on my phone. It looked right, and I did it. So you really have to be careful. I always say if you get a request from somebody that sounds out of whack, call them. Pick the phone up and call a person. Hey, is this really you? Do you really need money or me to pick you up because this doesn't sound like you? So be careful out there. People out there scamming. And another thing I'll say too, and move on is like if you're a victim of a cyber attack, and I'll talk about this later, don't be ashamed about it because they're hoping that you're ashamed about it, that you don't tell anybody, that you don't take any action, that you don't call the police or anybody else. Don't feel shame if you fall victim of cyber attack. I will say you want to respond, right away, promptly, because the more time you take to respond, the more things they can get into. So when something does happen, change your password right away. Delete those emails. Do things you have to do because they're hoping on you feeling embarrassed and you just kind of ignore it, but it's not going to go away. Make sure that you address those cyber attacks in real time. The next thing, future tips. I already said this, but your software, keep up to date. When you get those software updates, install them. Next, avoiding the software that doesn't offer any security options. Once again, a lot of times you try to install a software in your computer, you'll say that this software is not secure. You can install it. Next thing is you want to establish policies limiting data stored on company and personal devices. This is really big. So have a policy where I worked with some jobs or contracts where you can't check your email on your cell phone. You have to be logged in, to a laptop, and you might have to use a special key to log in. So think about that because if you let your employees or even yourself access your devices on a number of places, it's opening up the chance of you getting hacked and attacked. So make sure that you are very sure about that. I work for companies as well where they give you a phone because they didn't want you checking email on your device because your device is open to different attacks. So establish those policy in your company to make sure you're keeping your data safe. Okay, here's the big one: protecting your customers. This is really key. The last thing you want as a business is to have your customers attacked, to have them hit with spam messages, to have their credit card numbers, their checking account numbers, all that stuff be vulnerable. You really do not want that. You have to keep that data and the information safe because it's your customers. And especially if you're a small business, those customers, if they get hacked and they know it's you, they're going to leave. Now, truthfully, every time you go to Target or Walmart, you swipe, these places get hacked all the time. But because they're a big company, we say, oh, okay, it happens. But if you're a smaller company, it's so key that you are protecting your data for your customers. And, I think too, as time goes on in the future, it's going to become a requirement. Customers are not going to do business with you if they know you're not secure, if they know you're not safe, because why? They don't want to get hacked. So I'll use some tips on how to do that. So one of the first ones is using HTTPS, which stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. Pretty much that means your website is secure, that the information on there is encrypted, it's scrambled in a sense so somebody can't decipher it. So your website, if you're using WordPress or any software, make sure your website is secure. Even if you're not selling on your website, every website should be secure. So make sure it's secure. That way, any information that your customer enters or send you is secure and can't be hacked. The next thing is you want to do is protect your email. Email is the main way that a lot of cyber criminals and attacks get into your system is by email. That's the first thing. They see your email, they click on that link, and then they get into your system. And if you look at any stories in the news, a lot of these big companies, that's how they get attacked. It starts off with a janitor or somebody that has access to email. They click on the link, they open it, and now the person has access to the hospital's records or the police station. It happens every day. So email is that first line of defense. You have to be aware of your email. So to do that, you want to use a website, I'm sorry, email software that supports encryption and also uses transport layer secure, also known as TSL. Once again, another way of protecting your data information. And as well, be sure to enable two-step verification. So once again, after you log into your email, it's send a code. It'll send a login to your device through your cell phone, and you have to enter that code to get in. Another way of keeping your account safe. All right. So, what are some ways to scrutinize emails? First, don't open any suspicious email. I'll say it again. Don't open any suspicious email, even if it's a free offer. It sounds too good to be true. Um, don't open it. So, be careful when clicking on email attachments, downloading files, visiting news sites. Once again, if you get an email, you're not sure it's real, don't click on that link. Don't download a PDF because it's going to send you to some site that could download some software. Don't download that file. Don't click on links. Next, you want to be sure not to click on links from unsolicited email. So if you get an email from somebody and it seems harmless, they say click here. You didn't ask for an email. Don't click on it. True story. I got an email from a past client um, about a month ago, and they were smart. They say RFP, and for me, that's the magic word. That means money. So they said Sterling new RFP, and I said, "Oh, okay, great." So I clicked the link. It was a link that said it was going to, I think, like Dropbox or something, and I click it, and it takes me to some crazy website. And once again, as soon as I clicked it, I knew that I'd been a victim of attempt to get my information. So quickly, I deleted the email. I installed virus software on my laptop and my cell phone, to make sure they could get into that. I went the next step. I changed my passwords on Gmail. It sounds a bit much on Gmail, my bank account information, because I didn't want to take no chances. And I picked the phone up. I called my past client and said, "Yeah, I didn't send that. I got hacked." And of course, I meant to tell everybody I got hacked, but they didn't. But it looked right. It was his email. It was his picture, his icon picture there. It was his signature line. Everything looked right. And once again, the person sent that email. They knew that if you put RFP, this could be taken seriously. And I saw it and clicked on it. It wasn't right. So be sure to scrutinize every email, even if it's from a sender that you recognize. There's still a chance that it could be fraudulent. Okay. Next one is beware of phishing scams. So, what is phishing? Phishing is basically when a email, a text, whatever you get, it looks like a real brand, but it's not. So, in this sample, this is an email coming from Ace Hardware, but it's not Ace. They have the same color scheme. They have the same like logo. They're showing pictures of heaters and other things like that. They want to mimic the look of Ace, but it's not. So you may get the same one from your bank that has the right color scheme, the right logo, but it's not them. It's called a phishing scam. They are duplicating a website that looks trustful to trick you into clicking on that link. So once again, you have to be conscious of that. Once again, these are not legitimate and they're not coming from real brand. They're just copying the look and feel of that brand, trying to get you to click on that link or email. So, what's some ways you can spot an email that's fraudulent? So, the first thing, if you look on the screen here at the top, if there's a threat of an unplanned expense or urgency, like send $50 to me, not 50, send $100 to me. But when I'll say that, don't be what's the word? Don't drop your guard based on money. So it could be $1, it could be $1 million. Still don't respond to that. That could just be the start of something. Another thing I'll say too for your bank account, if you ever see a charge in your bank account, even if for 1 cent, dispute it because that could be the start of something bigger. They can start out small and over time they can build up, or it could be 1 cent today, it could be $1,000 tomorrow. So every amount, no matter how big or small, should be scrutinized. So they could be an expense of $1. It could be $1,000. Um, urgency. They want to get you moving fast. They say expire now. No, send me your money now. It has to be done today. If anybody's coming to you like that, it's something that you don't want to do. Hey, Juan, you had a story about that. Somebody called you about a bill that wasn't yours, and was there any sense of urgency? Like you need to pay this now?
Yes, I it was terrible.
Mhm.
And so it was in college. They
Okay.
called me, then they emailed me. Well, I
Right.
also gave them my information over the phone, so it was just
Okay.
like it was a mess. Ended up
Right.
paying over $1,000, not
Wow.
the right debt. It was terrible. And then recently, it's so
Right.
interesting. I got a fake Savage Fenty email
Okay.
to
Right.
Black woman owned,
Oh
and
wow.
but it says so. I'm glad you were sharing like different ways to notice
Mhm.
what's real and what's not. It was Savage Fenty at Gmail, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, y'all,
Yeah, that sound right.
come on.
Yeah.
So it's been a crazy experience.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good. And that too. There are some business owners out there that use at Gmail, but I would say if you're a real business, you should not be eliminating from a Gmail address as it looks fishy. But it can be very hard. And once again, they're banking on and they're showing your logo. They're saying things that look safe, look familiar, that you will take the action. I get phone calls all the time from debt collection companies that I don't owe money to. And I'm thinking, did I have an account with this company? They have you thinking. And I'm like, no. So now I'm paying bill on time now. This ain't cost no more. But if I do want, I say, you know what? Send me a letter in the mail. You know, let me scrutinize it. And let me pull my credit. Let me see if something's on there because I'm not gonna send anybody money on the phone because you said I owe you money, that you're coming for me. The IRS doesn't call you and all this stuff that people try. So if you ever get one of those scams, be cautious. The one I get now is always student loan debt relief. I get that every day. Oh, we can consolidate your loans. We can help you out. We can get forgiveness on loans, all this stuff. But once again, if it sounds too good to be true, it's not true. And that too, even now with all the things that are happening now with student loan forgiveness, they're banking on that. Like, oh, I heard about student loan forgiveness. Let me try this program. But that stuff is not valid. So don't fall for those attempts. Okay. So other way you can do that is if it's from an unknown sender. So if I get an email from a real company, it should say Sterling McKinley. It shouldn't say unknown sender because a person is taking the time to send a real email address is going to send their name. Next, it should have a profile photo. Very important. So if I'm getting an email address from somebody, I should see a logo, I should see a picture, I should see something there. So that should be avatar, picture profile. If there's not one, I would look at it sideways. Next thing, if it's poorly written copy, so if they miss spellings, they don't make sense. If it's really general, really vague. Once again, that's the raise a flag that this email is fraudulent. The next thing, attachments. Once again, they have attachments. They have PDFs, images to download. Don't click on those. Those are all signs that it's a fraudulent email. So we have a dump here. We have two logins to Gmail. It's kind of small, but both of these look the same, right? They look valid from this view. If you're looking on your cell phone, this will look valid, but
Yeah.
one of these is real and one of these is fake. So let's zoom in here. So the one on the left is fake, and the one on the right is valid. So why is it fake? So The URL makes no sense. It's accounts.google backslash https.com. That URL makes no sense. So check that. If you're getting email from your bank, if you're getting email from a vendor or a company, make sure that URL matches the URL of the company. Next, once again, if there's no sender, there's no name, it's no profile picture image, then it's probably not real. So some of the things you can do to look out for a fraudulent email. Also, that's why I love Gmail. Gmail blocks 99% of spam and phishing attempts and also malware. Like first hand experience, if you try logging in Gmail from a new device, it will let you know. It's going to alert you to your phone. It's good to everybody. So I do love Gmail because of that, because they really take security seriously, and they're going to make sure that emails you get and emails that you send are valid. And the thing I like about it too is that every day they are blocked so many emails. If you are going to your Gmail account, if you have one, there's so many spam messages. If you go through them, some of them actually look real. Every once in a while, a real email gets marked as spam, but not much. But a lot of those emails, they look good. They're very persuasive. But Gmail has identified that, hey, this same email has been sent to 10 million people. This is a spam message, and they market it as spam. So also be sure too, when you get an email from somebody that's not real, mark it as spam. That lets Gmail know that, hey, don't let any more emails from this person or address come to your account. Then also they add it to their larger database and say, hey, don't let this email go to anybody. So be sure to mark that email as spam, because it helps not only you, but also other people using Gmail. All right, wrapping up. So think before you click. I said this already, but think before you click. This little finger here can get you into a lot of trouble. So before you click on that ad, that link, that picture, think about it. Cyber criminals are hoping that you're not thinking, that you're rushed, that you're busy, that you're tired, that your defenses are down. You click on that link, but think before you click. That's very, very important. So first, what you have to do is plan ahead. So I'm gonna get big on this one. Zoom in. So I hate to say this, but the chance of you getting hacked are pretty high. It's gonna happen on some level. It may be a dollar or two. It may just be having your security leaked, your email leaked on the dark web, but it's going to happen. So, especially like I said, in this world that's becoming so digital. So, one thing that I say you should do is have a plan. I would say you don't want to be on Google, Googling what to do when I'm attacked, when you've already been attacked. So have a plan in place now. So when it does happen, you're not scrambling, you're not scared, you're not calling your friends and calling your mom, but you have a plan in place to take action, because that's going to mitigate some of that risk if you have a plan of action ahead of time. So what are some that you can do? So first, have a plan ready. First, you want to outline who's in charge of what devices. So if you have employees or contractors, make a list in Sheets or Excel and list what people are responsible for, what they do. Next thing, like I said before, is take quick action. Time is really money. So the minute you find out you hacked or you have a suspicion you're hacked, take action. Change those passwords. Do that stuff to make sure that you're not exposing yourself to more hacks. Next, you want to make a record of tech assets. So you can, once again, Sheets, go in there, spreadsheet, and make a list of what platforms you're on, what software you're using. Once again, sometimes you forget about what platform software you have. Make a list. Next, make sure they're all up to date. Make sure your cell phone, make sure your computer, your tablet are up to date. Make sure that the latest security patch update is installed. Next thing you want to do is make a list of hardware that you use. Um, I have 10 phones in my drawer over here that I don't use anymore. Make sure that those devices are wiped. Make sure they're clean. Make sure that you have a track of all the information, because, like I said before, I have over 400 accounts. And that's not because I'm this crazy person that opens accounts every day, but You take 15, 20 years of new accounts and you end up there. So you have to make a list of those accounts because if not, you're opening yourself up to more cyber attacks. Next one thing is have clear policies and training in place if something happens. You can establish an internal website that has information on what to do if you were hacked, and also designate somebody in your company that can be the security specialist. So you can send an email to them, they can look to and take action. The next thing is you want to create a security culture. What I mean by that, I said it before, but you want to talk openly about cybersecurity. So talk to it regularly with your employees. If you don't have any employees, talk to yourself about it. Talk to your friends, your other business entrepreneurs you know, because it matters. And as we are share stories and more, we all get stronger. So you want to talk about cybersecurity as much as you can. The next thing is encourage people to share their concerns. Because again, don't be shameful if you may have gotten attacked or you have a question. Talk about it openly. And next, make sure that you are modeling good security behavior. That even goes for you at home. Make sure that you're talking to your kids, your wife, your spouse about cybersecurity. Hey, is that password updated? Is the password to a Wi-Fi router hard to guess? Is it updated? Make sure that their devices are updated because once again, your business and your personal data is really commingled in a lot of cases. The same device is seeing both of that. So for your house, if somebody gets your Wi-Fi password or the password to your router, they're going to access to your business stuff as well. So making sure that you're being a good leader, that you're always doing those things, because like anything, it trickles down. When people see you doing that, talking about it, they'll take it more seriously. All right, moving on to the last thing. So, what to do if you're attacked? So, once again, you are going to get attacked on some level. So, the first step you want to do is protect your banking and your credit information. You can do that by contacting your bank, your credit card companies, and financial institutions to let them know about it. Regularly check your credit report for any accounts or charges you don't recognize. Like I said before, any charge, whether it's big or small, make sure you dispute that. And also consider placing a freeze on your credit report. So even if somebody does get your social security number, they can't open up lines of credit in your name. Also, file reports with the local police, also with the FBI, the Internet Crime Center, known as IC3. That's the hub where once again, they follow and they track crimes. And once again, it's kind of like marketing spam, let somebody know that this is going on. To find out more about that, visit www.ic3.gov. All right, so moving on here, recap. Talked about a lot tonight. So, you know, this is a constant battle. You're going to be learning and growing, but here are some of the things that you want to do as soon as possible. First, this is the big one: use strong passwords. All right, don't use the same password over and over again, and use a password manager like Google Password Manager that's going to remember and store all your passwords. Next, use two-step verification. On Gmail, most programs now have that. That's when you sign it to a device, it will send a password or code to mobile device per se, and you have to put that code in to get into it. Next thing, as when possible, keep your equipment safe, including your mobile phone. You're at your coffee shop, don't leave your device, your laptop unattended. My big thing, I'm on vacation and somebody says, "Give me your phone. I'll take a picture of you." I don't do it anymore. My wife's going crazy, but I'm like, I'm not going to give my phone to a complete stranger that could run off on my phone and they have access to my job, my email, my pictures, my video. No. So I have a cheaper camera that I carry around. I'm not crazy, but I'm not giving. And once again, that phone costs money. I'm not giving my phone that cost me $1,000 that has everything on there to a complete stranger. I just don't do it no more. That's just me. Next thing is make sure your websites are secure by using HTTPS. pretty much that encrypts and scrambles your data so somebody can't get it. Same thing for email. Use the email as encrypted. The next thing is make a plan, make a list of your tech assets. And last thing is develop a culture of security. Security is something that's always going to be changing. Make sure you talk about it with yourself, or your team. I keep saying yourself. It's so crazy. Make sure you talk about it with your team, your group of entrepreneurs, friends, because it's something that affects everybody. All right. So for more tips, visit Google Safety Center. Simply visit safety.google. And if you want to learn more about this, visit google.grow. No matter if you're a teacher, if you're a business owner or looking for a job, this site has a lot more information about how to make sure you're safe online and also how to use the skill sets for your business. So that brings us to the end of tonight's workshop. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something about cybersecurity. Do me a favor. There's a QR code on the screen right now. If you can, pull out your phone, take a picture of that QR code. It'll lead to a form where you can leave a review about tonight's workshop, or you can simply type in g.co/grow/feedback and leave a review also of this workshop. So that being said, thanks for your time and good night.